Welcome to Lune Podcast. Today we look at the top 5 biomedical startups in Singapore right now and see what makes them so successful. If you are new to biomedical startup landscape in Singapore, or if you would like to know more about the latest biomedical technologies, these 5 startups will be the best point of entry. Today is the 7th of August 2025. We are already in August, which is the month of Singapore's Independence Day. National Day is typically celebrated with parades, fireworks, and discounts from different merchants. And just a quick segue, because Singapore is turning 60 years old this year. For the first 10 years of Singapore's nation building, the economy and investments were mainly focused on textile. And then over the next 30 years, from the 1970s to the 2000s, we saw an economic transition to electronics and chemical industry. We also have semiconductor and oil and gas refineries coming in. From year 2000 to today, so in the last about 20 years, the government has been investing heavily on biomedical industry. So today, we are going to talk about the fruits of this 20 years worth of investment. The first names that come to mind when most people think of breakthrough biomedical technology are typically companies from the United States such as Illumina for sequencing, Moderna for mRNA technology. It is traditionally true that the USA spins out some of the best startups, especially in Boston area, San Francisco Bay Area, and San Diego area, because of the tight academia, hospital, and investor collaboration ecosystem. But since proximity and comprehensive ecosystem of hospitals, research institute, and capital is key to biomedical startup success, this means that Singapore already has all the necessary ingredients available in a very compact place for incubating groundbreaking startups success stories. So indeed, the latest fundraising and valuation indicates that Singapore is beginning to roll out unicorns and highly valued innovative companies. So below are the top 5 right now in 2025. Evaluation criteria includes funding, partnership, product launches, clinical accomplishments, and commercial results. First up, we've got Hummingbird Bioscience. Hummingbird Bioscience was founded in 2014 in Singapore by Jerome Boyd Kirkup, who is the CEO, and Piers Ingram, who is the CSO of Hummingbird. Both of them are still in the company, and both of them were first-time entrepreneurs, but somehow they came together with this great idea of delivering precision therapeutics for cancer. Now, do pay attention that while precision therapeutics for cancer is a very hot buzzword right now in the biomedical world, back in 2014, when they took this gamble, it was still an untested and risky technology. So in this field, having the foresight to know how technology will evolve over the next 10 to 20 years is very important. Hummingbird develops precision and antibodies against difficult oncology targets. The lead candidates include HMBD001, which targets HER3, and the HMBD002, which is anti-VISTA. Both are in phase 1 clinical trials globally. 4 years ago, in May 2021, they closed a US $125 million Series C for drug pipeline development, and that was led by Novo Holdings, which is affiliated with Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk is the producer of weight loss drug Ozempic. So listeners who are interested in Novo Nordisk, do read up on how Ozempic massively changed the fortunes of this company and of a lot of people in the world. The fact that a drug startup like Hummingbird is heavily invested by a pharmaceutical leader can be an indication of eventual acquisition when the drug candidate is at around phase 2B or maybe at phase 3. So other notable partnerships include strategic collaborations with Merck on clinical trial and supply agreement, and with Endeavor Biomedicine, which acquired exclusive worldwide rights to Hummingbird's Bioscience antibody drug conjugate, the HMBD-501, which is worth $430 million. And that's not counting royalties and royalties on net sale. So the drug should be moving into phase 2 later on this year. Number 2, we have got Engine Bioscience. Engine Bioscience was founded in 2015 by MIT professor Timothy Lu and entrepreneur Jeffrey Lu. Jeffrey is the CEO and a highly business-minded person with entrepreneurship track record. Timothy is the brain behind the science. Engine provides biological insights for drug development by machine learning. Their key technologies are AI-powered NetMapper, which is a network biology mapping, with CombiGem, which is combinatorial genetics, to accelerate precision oncology drug discovery. Basically, what they do is to expedite drug discovery, efficiency, and efficacy by doing high-throughput predictions on how biomarkers, chemistry, and active compound will interact with one another. This is the product that mainly sells to pharma companies. And again, something very special about this startup is that while AI and machine learning is hot topic right now, and protein computation did win the Nobel Prize just last year in 2024, the founders possessed very far-reaching foresight back in 2015 in order to enable them to build their competencies in this area. In 2018, they raised US $10 million in Southeast Asia's largest seed round. That was $10 million US dollar in seed round. And then in May 2021, they completed an oversubscribed US $43 million Series A with an additional US $27 million extension in October 2023. So their total raise right now is almost US $90 million. Their backers include a lot of Asian-focused funds like Clevis Bio and Seeds Capital, but they also have US backers like Polaris Partners and Coronet Ventures. Number 3, we've got MiRXES. I spoke about MiRXES at great length in my previous podcast episode, but Singapore's first biomedical unicorn should definitely still be ranked amongst the top 5 in Singapore. Listeners who are interested in MiRXES' founding team, journey from conception to unicorn, product commercialization, and future headwinds should definitely check out the 20 minutes earlier episode podcast that I have. MiRXES was founded in 2014 as an A-Star spin-off and was crowned as a unicorn with the Hong Kong IPO in May this year, in 2025. And unlike Hummingbird's product, which is therapeutics, Engine's product, which is computation, MiRXES' product is diagnostic platform and toolkit. The main commercial product is GastroClear. This product is notably the world's first microRNA-based blood test for early gastric cancer and already validated clinically in US, Singapore, and Japan. MiRXES is also a very Asia-focused startup to date, so unlike the previous 2 startups. Number 4, we've got Lucence. Lucence has a crazy amount of similarities with MiRXES. It is also a spin-off from A-Star, and it is also a cancer diagnostic startup. The product Liquid Hallmark is also very similar to GastroClear of MiRXES because both are molecular diagnostic tools used for cancer detection. During COVID-19, both companies also developed COVID test kits, but unlike MiRXES, Lucence focuses mainly on the US market, while MiRXES establishes itself in APAC. In fact, Lucence was the first Asian product that received Medicare coverage in the United States. So anyone who tried getting that product recognized by Medicare insurance in the United States before would understand how challenging that process was. Lucence has also released Lucence Insight, which can detect 50 types of cancer with just a single blood test. The company was founded in 2016 by Dr. Min Han Tan, who is the CEO and a clinical cancer geneticist, and Dr. Yuti Chowdhury, who was the previous CTO before she left to join HistoIndex, which is another startup. Now, do not underestimate Dr. Min Han Tan, because he isn't just a regular scientist researcher. His brother is Tan Ming Liang, who is the founder of Razer, a billionaire who also helps to fund the company to probably a large extent. In November 2019, Lucence raised US $20 million Series A, which was led by major healthcare group IHH Healthcare, and they have a total war chest of about $75 million. Number 5, and last but not least, we have Albatroz Therapeutics. This is another spin-off from A-Star, and here we have another drug therapeutics company. The scientific brain behind the technology is Dr. Frederick Bard, who was a long-term researcher at A-Star and now the CEO of Albatroz. After meeting Guy Hedges, a seasoned biotech entrepreneur with experience at Roche, they decided to launch Albatroz in 2020. That was just 5 years ago. Albatroz Therapeutics' principle relied on antibodies that block extracellular matrix degradation, which is a key process in solid tumor metastasis and arthritis. It is apparently the first drug attempting to tackle this mechanistic pathway for disease treatment. The product and idea is still in preclinical phase, but they have already won multiple awards. In 2023, they raised US $3 million, led by Albatroz Bio and Seeds Capital, and was Singapore's first recipients of NGen's Golden Ticket Award, which gave them 1 year free access to NSG Biolabs, which is a wet lab open space, and J Labs Singapore facilities. In 2024, they joined Johnson & Johnson J Labs Singapore to embed themselves deeply in the drug discovery pipeline ecosystem. And then in April 2025, Nature Communications published their pivotal data showing their antibody pathway that can block cartilage degradation and potentially reverse progression in osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Note that a lot of drugs were considered highly successful, even if they can halt disease progression, but Albatroz preclinical results showed disease reversal, which is groundbreaking. All the data were tested in animal models, so they should be ready to start clinical trial phase 1 perhaps next year if they clear toxicity tests. So in summary, these are the top 5 biomedical startups in Singapore. We've got Hummingbird, Engine, MiRXES, Lucence, and Albatroz. If you have heard of any of them, please feel free to leave a comment. It might come to the attention of sharp listeners that diagnostic companies typically take 6 years or so to get their products out in the market with regulatory approvals, while drug therapeutic startups require more than 10 years typically, so Hummingbird might be another 4 years away from product release, while Albatroz might need another 8 years before product release. Also, while fundraise might be a good metric for evaluating startup successes, Albatroz Therapeutics from Singapore did raise $200 million before shutting down at phase 3 clinical trial stage, so startups are still risky business. I know some listeners have been waiting for an episode on Tessa that will be coming out pretty soon. If you enjoyed this session of Lune Podcast, do subscribe and leave a comment. Links to the top 5 startups are provided in the description. Thank you for listening to this episode of Lune Podcast. I hope you enjoy the newly designed logo. See you in the next one. Thank you for listening to this episode of Lune, brought to you by Han, the host and founder of this podcast. This podcast is not intended to be part of any company or business initiative. Rather, it is driven by curiosity and belief that biomedical startups are reshaping our healthcare ecosystem for the better. So I hope to better articulate the works and impacts of this startup to the world. I will appreciate it if you can subscribe to this channel and its content, which are available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. If you have any thoughts and topic of interest, feel free to leave a comment. Bye bye.